Good morning, class 12th Commerce, subject Accountancy, chapter number 5, Accounting Ratios, lecture number 2. And now see, I am continuing advantages or uses of accounting ratios. Advantages or uses of accounting ratios to be continued. Point number 3rd, up to point number 3rd, the points has been explained in lecture number 1 up to 3rd. I'm starting now 4th number. Point number 4, helpful in locating the weak spots of the business. These all are the advantages of accounting ratios. It is point number 4. Current year's ratios are compared with those of previous years. For comparison, at least 2 years ratios are required. And in this point, the time has been taken the current year and previous year. And if some weak spots are thus located, means if by doing the comparison any weak spot is captured, in that case what will be done? Then the remedial measures, they are taken to correct them. If remedial measures are not taken, then the condition, it can be financial, it can be any other type of condition, it will remain same. Point number 5, helpful in forecasting. Accounting ratios are very helpful in forecasting and for the preparation of the plans for the future. Estimate for future can be worked out by establishing a relationship. And now see, the relationship will be maintained, it will be established between capital and revenue from operations. Capital is the money that has been invested by the owner in his business. Revenue from operations, they are sales. Sales will depend upon the money that has been invested in the business, undoubtedly. Trade receivables and revenue from operations, expenses and revenue from operations. देखिए, revenue from operations sale है. When the revenue from operations, they are up to the good mark, then what will happen? More profits will be get. With the help of more profits, the capital will be increased. Point number 6, estimate about the trend of the business. If accounting ratios are prepared for a number of years, they will reveal money, they will tell the trend of costs, revenue from operations, profits and other important facts. With the help of accounting ratio, the trend of the business can be found. Trend का मतलब है कि व्यापार हमारा किस दिशा में जा रहा है. The trend, the direction can be towards profit or loss. Point number 7, fixation of ideal standards. Ratios help in establishing ideal standards of the different items of the business. With the help of comparison, the actual ratios calculated at the end of year with the ideal ratio. See, now the comparison is done with actual ratios and with the ideal ratios. Actual ratios means these are the ratios which in reality you have got. And ideal ratios are those ratios which are fixed by experts. Point number 7, fixation of ideal standards. Ratios help in establishing ideal standards of the different items of the business. And now see, the comparison has been done by comparing the actual ratios calculated at the end of the year with the ideal ratios. Ideal ratios are the standard ratios. The efficiency of the business can be easily measured. With the help of ideal ratios, then definitely the comparison can be done With the help of ideal ratios, you can come to know that how much hard work is still to be done. Point number 8, effective control. Ratio analysis disclose liquidity. Liquidity is the condition in which the firm is able to pay off their short-term loans and liabilities. Ratio analysis discloses the liquidity and solvency and profitability of the business enterprise. These are the 3 very much important things that are disclosed by the ratio analysis. They are liquidity, solvency, and profitability. Such information enables management to assess the changes that have taken place over a period of time of the financial activities of the business. Now see, here they are discussing about the financial changes. What the financial activities, financial changes, those has been done, and those can be easily assessed with the help of ratios. Point number 8, effective control. Ratio analysis discloses the liquidity, solvency, profitability of the business enterprise. Such information enables management. And now see, this type of information is helping the management to assess the changes. So they are now able just to understand the changes, and those have been taken place over a period of time of the financial activities of the business. Ratios help in effective control. Control can be done for this profitability, for expenses. Wherever the controlling is required, that controlling can be done with the help of ratios. It helps them in discharging their managerial functions. And now see, when a clear picture of each and every item is available with the help of ratios, in that case the managers, they can do their functions easily. Whatever their performances are to be done, they can do. And now see, it helps them in discharging their managerial functions. And see, what are the managerial functions? They are planning, organizing, directing, communicating, and controlling more effectively. Whatever are the managerial functions, those functions can be nicely done because the managers, they have the clear picture about each and everything, and that picture is made clearer with the help of ratios. And now listen again, I am telling you, it is planning, then organizing. It is not director, it is directing, not director. Communicating and controlling, it becomes very much effective with the help of accounting ratios. Point number 9, study of financial soundness. Financially, what is the condition of any firm? That also can be studied with the help of ratios. Ratio analysis discloses the position of business with different points. See, what are the points? Net profit ratio, gross profit ratio, profitability ratio, and so many ratios are calculated. And when the calculation is done, in that case, see what will happen. The financial position or any type of point, whatever the management wanted to discuss about, they can come to know. Point number 9, study of financial soundness. Ratio analysis discloses the position of business with different points. It discloses the position of the business with the liquidity point of view. Liquidity point of view means how much are they capable of paying off their short-term loans and liabilities. One view has been taken, the liquidity point of view, then solvency point of view. After that, profitability point of view, it means ki are they really doing good? Whether they are good or bad, it can be found, it can be judged, it can be seen only with the help of accounting ratios. And really, accounting ratios, they help in finding the financial soundness of any business. Move on to now limitations of accounting ratios. These are the limitations of accounting ratios. Point number 1, false accounting data gives false ratios. Accounting ratios, they are calculated on the basis of data which is given in profit and loss statement and balance sheet. They will be only correct when the information is correct. When the information for accounting data is false, then definitely the ratios which will be calculated, that will be the false ones. Point number 1, false accounting data gives false ratios. It is the duty, mandatory duty of every business to give the real accounting data, not the false one. Point number 2, comparison not possible if different firms adopt different accounting policies. And now listen, there may be different accounting policies, those are adopted by the business firms. Then what will happen? See, what accounting policies, few examples I am giving you, that can be regarding depreciation, creation of provision for bad and doubtful debts, methods of valuation of closing inventory, etc. If the methods are not same, how can the result be same? In that case, what will happen? The comparison will not be done. For example, see, I am taking one example. One firm may adopt the policy of charging depreciation on straight line basis method. Another firm, they are charging depreciation on written down value method. Then when the matter is of comparison, how can the comparison be done? And if comparison is done, that will not be authentic, not at all. Point number 3, ratio analysis becomes less effective due to price level changes. And when these changes are not properly recorded, these changes, if they are not properly recorded, if the changes, they are not kept in mind, then whatever the ratios are calculated, they will be only misleading. Ratio analysis, it becomes very much less effective because of price level changes. Point number 4, ratios may be misleading in the absence of absolute data. And when the comparison is done, that comparison also will be misleading. Listen, many times when the conclusion is found, then what will happen? Such conclusion will be very much misleading because of the difference in the size of two firms. So when the comparison is done, the size, the nature, everything should be just same. Point number 4, ratios may be misleading in the absence of absolute data. When the data provided is not absolute, definitely the ratios, whatever are calculated, they will be only misleading. Point number 5, limited use of a single ratio. The analyst should not merely rely on a single ratio. It means many ratios should be calculated. He should study several connected ratios before reaching on to any conclusion. And see, for the example, I am giving you some examples. When the current ratio of a firm, it can be quite satisfactory, whereas the quick ratio, it may not be satisfactory. I hope that you have got just the limitation. Point number 5, limited use of a single ratio. When one ratio is to be calculated, other also is necessary. In current ratio, we calculate two ratios, that is current ratio and quick ratio. Current ratio can be satisfied, quick ratio cannot be satisfied. Then in that case, the use of single ratio becomes very much limited. Point number 6, it is window dressing. And now see what happens. Sometimes the business decorates their weaknesses. When the decoration is done like this, it is known as window dressing. And now see what happens. Some companies, in order to cover up their bad financial position, when the liabilities are very much more, they really dependent on to resort onto the window dressing. वो dependent हो जाते हैं on window dressing. Then what is the meaning of window dressing? Showing a better position than the one which really exists. It means in window dressing, whatever will be shown through accounts, through balance sheet, that will not be the proper information, that will be improper information, that will be false information. Then point number 7, lack of proper standards. And now see what happens. The circumstances and conditions for every business, they are not same, they are different definitely. Circumstances, they differ from firm to firm. Hence, no single standard ratio can be fixed for all the business firms against which the actual ratio will be compared. See, for example, I am taking the example of current ratio. Current ratio is 2:1 and it is generally accepted as an accounting ratio, as an ideal ratio. It means current ratios always should be twice, and current liabilities, they should be single, they should be one time. But if the firm has such a type of arrangement with its bankers, that the bankers will provide necessary credit to the firm in case of need. It means now the bank, they are not looking on to the ideal ratio because they have full faith on that particular business. In that case, they will give them, definitely credit will be given, loan will be given. Point number 8, ignores qualitative factors. And listen, it really happens because it is the business, and in business we are only looking only the monetary terms. Let us take one example. Mr. B, he is very much good manager. He manages everything very nicely, and because of his goodness, the firm is earning many crores in the form of profits. But listen, his quality will never be recorded, that will be ignored. But well, what will not be ignored, that will be the money. Then if the person is without quality, how can that person, how can that manager help in earning more and more profits? So it is the limitation of accounting ratios that it ignores the qualitative factors. If there is no quality, how can a business earn more? Point number 9, ratios alone are not adequate for proper conclusions. See once more, point number 9. Ratios alone are not adequate for proper conclusions. And now see, ratios derived from analysis of statements, they are not the sure indicators. Sure indicators whether the firm is good or firm is bad. They are in the firm, proper firm, the particular firm is earning proper profits. Really the firm is a firm in which profitability is very much more. See, when the ratios are discussed, they merely indicate the profitability of a favorable or unfavorable position. Favorable will be when more profits are earned. Unfavorable will be when less profits are earned. Then it is the duty of analyst to investigate it further so that the proper judgment, proper result can be shown, so that the working on proper result can be done. It is point number 9 that ratios alone are not adequate for proper conclusions. It is the duty of analyst to just investigate what more can be done. Point number 10, effect of personal ability and bias of analyst. And now see, it is the very much important point that should be kept in mind, that different persons, they draw different meanings of different terms. And how can the meaning be same for everybody? They all use their own brain. Whatever they feel the meaning, they assume the meaning is the same. Means different people, different meaning, different conclusions. One analyst may calculate ratios on the basis of profit after interest and tax. Then what will happen? See, then another analyst may consider profits before interest and tax. One is calculating profit after interest and tax. Another is calculating before interest and tax. And then I am giving you the example so that you can just understand that effect of personal ability and bias makes these accounting ratios less important. Point number 10, effect of personal ability and bias of the analyst. Now move on to the variety, the classification of ratios. Ratios may be classified into 4 categories, and these categories are as follows. Point number 1, it is liquidity ratios. Second number, solvency ratios. Third number, activity or turnover ratios. Point number 4, profitability ratios or income ratios. And now listen, these all ratios I am teaching you in detail. First of all, I will move on to liquidity ratio, and these are the total 4 ratios that I will teach you, and these are the part of CBSE curriculum, CBSE syllabus. Liquidity ratios or short-term solvency ratios. Liquidity refers to the ability of the firm to meet its current liabilities. The liquidity ratios, therefore, they are also called short-term solvency ratios, because whatever are the short-term loans are taken by the business, is the firm in position to pay off their short-term loans in proper time. These ratios are used to assess the short-term financial position of the concern. Short-term trade payables of the firm are primarily interested in the liquidity ratios of the firms, as they want to know how promptly or readily the firm can meet its current liabilities. And now see, if the firm wants to take a short-term loan from the bank, the bankers also study the liquidity ratios of the firm in order to assess the margin between current assets and current liabilities. It is very interesting. The businesses, they remain in the need to get short-term loans and long-term loans. When short-term loans are requested from the bank, in that case the bankers, they come and then they see the current assets and current liabilities. But when the business asks for long-term loans, in that case fixed assets and long-term liabilities are analyzed. When the matter is of short-term loans, in that case the bankers will see the liquidity ratios, and liquidity ratios will tell how much current assets are with them, how much current liabilities are with them. Them का मतलब यहाँ पर बेटे व्यापार से है, बिजनेस से है. Liquidity ratios include 2 ratios. And now see, In when I am discussing the liquidity ratios, while the calculation of liquidity ratios, there are two ratios. First one is current ratio or working capital ratio. Second one is quick ratio or asset test ratio or liquid ratio. These are the two ratios. Current ratio or working capital ratio. It explains the relationship between current assets or current liabilities of the business. Here I am discussing current ratio. Listen again. करंट रेशो का दूसरा नाम है वर्किंग कैपिटल रेशो. इट एक्सप्लेन्स द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन करंट एसेट्स और करंट लायबिलिटीज ऑफ अ बिजनेस. द फॉर्मूला फॉर करंट रेशो इज करंट एसेट्स अपॉन करंट लायबिलिटीज. दिस इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर गेटिंग करंट रेशो. नाउ मूव ऑन टू व्हाट आर द आइटम्स दैट विल बी टेकन एज करंट एसेट्स. Current assets include the following assets. Current investments, point number 1. Point number 2, inventory. उसमें देखिए, and it will be excluding loose tools, stores and spares. It means you will take inventory but you will not take loose tools, stores and spares. I am discussing current assets. It includes the following assets. First of all, current investments. Second number, inventory, excluding loose tools, spares and stores. It is second number. Third number, trade receivables. In trade receivables, what will be taken? It will be bills receivable and sundry debtors. और sundry debtors में से क्या रहेगा? Less provision for doubtful debts. Fourth number, cash and cash equivalents. और इसमें what items will you take in cash and cash equivalents? Cash in hand, cash at bank, checks or drafts in hand, etc. These are the current assets. Point number 5. See, the current assets are continued further. Point number 5 पे भी मैं आपको current assets ही बता रही हूँ. Point number 5, short term loans and advances and other current assets, they are restricted to prepaid expenses. It means in other current assets there are many assets, but which will be taken, which are explained by the CBSE board, and those are C, prepaid expenses, accrued incomes and advance tax. In point number 5 दोबारा देखो बेटा, short term loans and advances and other current assets, they are restricted to only, you will take only prepaid expenses, you will take only accrued incomes and advance tax. Items which will not be taken in current assets or items excluded from the current assets, they are loose tools, stores and spares. Provision for doubtful debts, it means these items will not be taken when the calculation will be done for current assets. Current liabilities. Current liabilities include the following liabilities. Point number 1, short term borrowings, including bank overdraft. Because bank overdraft is a short term loan, so it has been explained separately. Current liabilities include the following liabilities. Point number 1, short term borrowings including bank overdraft. Point number 2, when I discuss about trade payables, in trade payables, two items are taken, that is bills payable and sundry creditors. Third number, other current liabilities, current maturities of long-term debts, interest accrued on borrowings, income received in advance, outstanding expenses, unclaimed dividend, calls in advance, etc. It all will be taken. They all are the examples of current liabilities. Point number 4, short-term provisions, may provision for taxation will be taken. Objectives and significance of current ratio. This ratio is used to assess the firm's ability to meet its short-term liabilities on time. when the current assets and current liabilities, they are in proper relation with, they are in proper balance. It means current assets are 2 and current liabilities are 1. In that case, the business can pay its short term liabilities easily. And now see, according to the accounting principles, the current ratio of 2:1 is supposed to be an ideal ratio. यानी कि अगर हमारी करंट रेशो 2:1 है तो वो हमारी एक आइडियल रेशो है बेटा. If the current ratio is less than 2:1, it indicates lack of liquidity and shortage of working capital. But when the ratio is very much more, even though it is very good for the, for short term trade payables, but is not necessarily good for the company. A much higher ratio than 2:1 may indicate the poor investment policies of the management. It means the investment, they are not doing investment properly. And this is the only reason. When I say that current ratio is very much more, in that case what will happen? Cash can be very much more. If they have cash more, what does it indicate? That proper investment of cash is not done. So the much higher ratio, which is more than 2:1, higher than 2:1, may indicate that the policies whatever are for the investment, they are not good. Means in investment, management is not sincere. In management of money, in management of investments, the firm is not good. They are not paying any heed. And now listen to your homework. See all the theory part I am teaching you. You will all write and learn whatever I have taught you today. Homework is write and learn today's topics definitely. Thank you so much.